the the McGrumps and then later on the Gaming Odyssey. Like, I mean, I remember me and John, we were playing Smash, and then you jumped in, and I think that's pretty much where the whole McGrumps really took off, somewhere around there. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know that either. Like, see, I can't answer questions sometimes. Well, hey, but what I can talk about is when I first joined McGrums. Like, I remember that I saw you in one of his videos, and then I wanted to like join y'all so I could have somebody to play with and have fun. So then I asked if he wanted to be in the video, and I guess we did a Smash thing, and then that's how I joined. I guess.
Wow. Yeah, because I was kind of doing collaborations myself, and I was like, we should definitely do a collaboration series, or actually, I think that was John who came up with that. Never mind. But he came up with a great series in McGrumps, and uh, but one of the things I do remember was some of the early episodes, and this might come off as a dig towards you, but I remember the first couple of episodes you didn't speak very much.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I can't remember why. I don't know if I was shy or if there was too much noise in the background.
I think it was because you were
I
shy, honestly, but
Yeah,
but but
but I also was shy when I first like in the voice chat with you guys, like in the Discord.
I could see that happening.
And I also remember this guy named Jay or something. He will always want me to speak. Like, I don't know why. Like, he'll get mad. Like, Smooth Jay or something. He'll come in the streams too.
Smooth J. I have never. Who is that guy?
I don't know.
Well, whoever he was. Well, still, it was like that for like the early couple of episodes on the McGrump series, which is also a very good series that McButternugget One does. And but then probably by the end of season one, going into season two, you arrived.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, you've come up with some very funny moments. Like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of funny moments, but I can't count how many times you've spiked me in Super Smash Brothers, you know, for the Wii U.
Oh,
Oh my God, I'm like, how do you keep doing this?
hey, remember, like, I was watching the first Smash episode. Like, I was Luigi, and I kept jumping. You was wondering, like, you was like, what was I doing? And, but that's what happened. I just kept jumping. I don't know what I was doing. I was just jumping.
Wow, whatever whatever you did a great job. Like sometimes you don't really know what you're doing and yet you did it. I'm like, it just blows my mind, really. I mean, there were a couple of other funny moments. Like, I still get a huge kick out of like some of the ones that you weren't necessarily on, but like the ones that involve. I guess we can start with our friends. There was one
What do you
moment
mean?
with what?
Oh, I was saying, what were you meaning? Like,
Kind of like there was one that featured our good friend Jay Vertis.
yeah, I remember him.
He, but before we continue, what do you think of him?
Um, I can't really remember him that much, but he was cool to me. I think, yeah.
Well, I mean, he was really cool, and still is. I mean, he was part of the final episode that we did for McGrumps, at least on uh, Wii U. And then, but yeah, I mean, I was just wondering what you thought of him.
Yeah. Like even for everybody, like everybody's cool here. Like I can talk to y'all and stuff, you know, and we just have fun.
And for the audience at home, that's the one thing, if you have friends, hang out with them. Because, I mean, I remember I had a friend who had a couple of other friends, and not just me, but he still recalls the days that, he got to play with them, and now he has a family to take care of, but every now and then he always wants to hang out with his friends again, just like old times, but which goes without saying, enjoy the good times while you can, because they don't always last. So,
Yeah, that's true.
so that's just a little word to the audience out there. All right, so we talked about Jay Verdes, but let's talk about the guy who created the McGrumps, John.
Yeah. No, I think he's created for like thinking of something like that, like just doing a parody or something. Like I think that's cool,
Yeah, of the
and he's
yeah.
cool and funny and stuff.
I mean, he's really cool to talk to, especially with like whenever getting us together to do collabs and things like that.
Hmm.
Like like there was a oh my God, there was one moment. I think like you and John were part of it and several others, and that was well. Before I get to that part, I mean, I like John. He's a really cool guy, and in fact, he was one of the guys that I talked to last time. But how do you feel about him? Like, any thoughts on him?
Yeah, like you said, like he's cool to talk to. Like you can have fun with him and stuff. Like you can, yeah, basically what you said.
Yeah, I mean, if you needed to talk to him about anything, he would listen more often than not. And usually, I mean, that is if he isn't busy with, school and things like that. Because, I mean, I would think most of the members of the McGrumps and later the Gaming Odyssey, which we'll talk about later,
Yeah,
most of us have school, and in the case of Fernando, he also has like a job and things like that. But I think the biggest moment that featured John along with you was, excuse me, was the time that you were in the oven.
man, you mean that Roblox video? Are you serious?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know I know what you're talking about.
I mean, John talked about it,
Wow.
but I mean, how did you feel about it?
No, I felt like it was a little bit funny. But y'all were just acting silly and stuff. But
Yeah,
it was funny to me.
and of course, I mean, some people thought it was, you know, kind of a Holocaust joke or something like that, but no,
Yeah, but
but
I don't think of it like that. I think it's just a silly joke for between all of us.
it's an inside joke.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, let's see. So we talked about John and uh, oh, Tan Man, or Tan Man is also another good guy, and
all I can say is that he laughs a lot. Every time I say "10-man laugh," he be laughing. Ah. Mm,
And he has
he
that
can't even copy it.
he has that funny laugh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think the most special moment that I can think of that involved you and him was and Pink Poyo, which we'll talk a little bit more about, was the time that you and him and Poyo won the trios championships on my series on Smash.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of was trying to do something. I wanted to start something up with Smash, kind of like the same way I was doing it with my wrestling series. Um, but there was not enough momentum behind it, so I kind of just as I just kind of stopped. But the best moment was when you guys won.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, we just won. Like I did get a little happy over some knees or something. Was you using knees
Yeah, we were using
or
Mies,
was
yeah.
yeah.
And I think really, and I remember one time you were like, "Hey, use my updated me," and I was like, "Oh, really?" But
Mhm.
but yeah, the evolution of your Miis, they look, it went from good to better to best. I guess that kind of sums it up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Why did I think you're going to say bad? But I didn't think you would be like that. But
No, I mean, if I really was that bad, I probably would have said it already. But,
yeah.
but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a damn me.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then of course, as I mentioned, Poyo. Any thoughts on him?
I can't really say nothing about him because he doesn't talk. But I'm not saying there's a problem with that. And then if he doesn't want to talk, then he doesn't have to.
Which is kind of funny because the last time I was doing a video with like the other McGrumps for the Super Smash Brothers Wii U finale, he talked,
Yeah, I've heard him talk a little bit.
but you're just talking like between you and him.
Yeah.
I get you. That's 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 understandable. I mean, again, I don't know much about Poyo other than what he's mentioned. I mean, I remember meeting him as number one fan of Toad, and then later on he became the Kirby that we all know today.
Yeah, I don't remember him being a fan of Toad ever. Was he?
He
Or who
was.
did?
Otherwise, I probably would have forgotten
Uh,
about him because like one time I was just like one time I got a notification. You know how you get a notification when someone subscribes to you?
yeah.
Well, that's what I got. I got him. I got a subscription from him, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cute." Number one fan of Toad. So I look at his channel and I'm like, "Oh wow." Of course, I was a Toad, so what?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so what did he? What kind of videos did he make?
Well, I think one time he had like a 10 subscriber special because back then he only had like what 5 subscribers to start with when I first met him, and one time he filmed a amiibo of Toad,
Mm-hmm.
I guess as if to say, "Hey guys, Toad, number one fan of Toad here," and he would just move the figurine as if the figurine was talking to us.
Wow. Oh yeah, I see a lot of people do that with like plushes and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what he did, but with the amiibos. And then, of course I don't know if he deleted them or not, but and then of course he changed his name a couple of times until he settled finally on Pink Pollo.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much where he came from. Let's see. Is there any McGrumps I'm forgetting that you'd like to talk about?
Mm, I don't think so.
Well, what about the guy that you were just in the call with?
You mean Fernando?
Yes.
He's funny. Like when he rages, like and stuff. Like it's just the way he yells and gets mad. Like I was playing a game with him one time, and then he was just yelling. I started laughing.
Oh my
I don't know.
god. I think the funniest part that featured him with you was the fact that you kept winning on battle mode on Mario Kart 8 Wii U.
Fucking Jakoi, you know what?
Damn it,
Fuck you, I'm coming after you, son of a bitch.
let's go
Oh,
Let's go, you mother.
This is
Come on,
Edgar.
all right, let's get him. Let's get him.
I feel like everybody has like said that to me or thought about it or just showed it. Cause I will always win a game. And Mario Kart.
I mean, in fact, I think it was one of the things you said when what is it, when Fernando got mad, you was like, "Well, come on, then. I ain't scared of none of y'all." Like I remember that's what you said, and I was like, "Wow, Jakoi is brave as hell."
I've always thought about saying that. Every time somebody will say something, like don't come to me, I'll think about saying that, but like be the only time I'll say it.
I mean, I guess it just depends on what is said,
I
because
was just trying to be funny.
but it was funny. Like, and sometimes you're funny, like not just you, but also Fernando and some of the guys that we just mentioned before. Some of them are just funny, and they don't even try to be funny.
Right.
Like sometimes it's when you respond to something and it just comes out funny, and you didn't even try to make a joke out of it. You actually just were funny.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm just trying to get the right, you know, words to come out, but sometimes I can't get it out right. Um, but yeah, I remember he got so frustrated, but all in all, I would
Hmm.
think that Fernando's a really cool guy, and you know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young man. He's trying to do the best he can, and I respect him for that.
Hmm.
And I can probably say the same thing about you. I mean, you're just doing the best you can with what you do.
I am. Thank you.
And let's see, other people. Oh, what about one of Tan Man's friends? Uh, the Greninja Power.
Same thing for Fernando. Like when he like rages and stuff and curse, like just like him. Like I think it's funny.
It is
So I
funny
laugh.
most of the time, yes. It's very funny. But then there's the other side of him. Like when he's chill, he's swag.
I don't remember none of that.
Well, well, that was when I was talking with Greninja Power one time. I think I was talking with him,
Uh,
just him and me. Yeah, he's very swag.
yeah.
But but of course, don't think he's the only one, because you're swag. You got swag.
I know that already. I don't need to be told that.
There you hear it. there you have it from Jakoi. And but yeah, back to Greninja Power though. Before we get a little off topic, I wasn't sure what to think of him at first, but you know, just like Fernando, I mean, he's doing the best he can with his life, and I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope
Oh, who?
Greninja Power.
Oh.
I was going back to him for a moment, but I haven't heard from him for in quite a while. But
Well, he's still good. I mean, I was playing Fortnite with him like last week.
okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I added him on my PS4, but that's all I've done. But I'm happy to know that he's doing well, so that does my heart good.
Hmm.
Let's see, who else are we forgetting? Fries.
Um, I don't really pay attention to Fries too often, but I just know that he says random stuff sometimes. That's it.
Yeah, sometimes I can't understand it, but then there are the times when he is funny. Like I'll give you one
Yeah.
example. Like he was singing along to I think it was one of the songs in Mario Kart 8. Uh, doesn't matter which version, but he was singing along, and I think it was one of the retro tracks, and I think it's the one where it first was on Double Dash, where you can go into
Um,
an ice bath of water, whereas in the original game you couldn't. I for,
no, but I don't remember that course.
it was kind of like a winter wonderland. But he was singing in tune with the chorus theme, and he's like,
You a dirty kid head freaking fries. You hitting me.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.
that's one of the things he did. I was like,
Yeah, he would say that too. Like I remember him. I remember him saying that.
and
Yeah.
the funny thing is, me and Fernando were there, and we both said at the same exact time, "Smoke weed every day."
Well,
But I mean, all in all, Fries, you know, as random as he is, he's got a good heart.
yeah.
I think that's really all that matters. But I just wish him well in what he does. I mean, he's doing well right now,
I
but
do too. Like same for everybody that we know.
that we've talked about and have yet to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see, another person. Oh, what about one of the new inductees? And or actually, wait. Oh yeah, like Cyrus, um, Kitty Sleep Lord, and then who's the only other person I can think of? And then maybe Jets. If you have any
And
opinions of each of them.
well, Jets is random. Like he always wants to be in a video. I'm not trying to hate or anything. I'm just saying like he always does it sometimes.
Well, to be fair, I mean, if when I was his age, I was kind of like that, believe it or not. Except we didn't have YouTube back then.
Oh.
But still, I can relate because I was like that. But
Okay, as for Cyrus and Kitty, like I can't say anything. Like, I don't pay attention to them either.
well, the only thing I will say is that Kitty's a good person at heart, and I don't if she's watching this. It's been a while since we talked, but I'm hoping that you're doing well. And same thing with Cyrus and his brother Marco.
I remember when they no like Cyrus and Marco always arguing or something. Like they were, I remember that time in Smash. Like one of them like stopped the match and then they started yelling at each other and one of the guys was laughing.
Oh my God. I think you just remember. I think you just reminded me of the time that. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yes. Like I don't remember that particular incident as you mentioned, but that I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Good times. And then let's see. So I guess so far what we're doing right now is just talking about our friends.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'll talk about a few more things.
sure. Oh yeah. Then there's Toad the Gamer.
I don't pay attention to him either. I think he's cool. Like, I think I've seen at least one of his videos. Like, I, I think he does good videos on his channel.
Oh, he's very good at what he does. Um, I guess what you're trying to say is that you haven't really talked to him all that much to have a really good opinion of him.
Yeah.
But but he is a good guy, I will say that.